Hey guys, today we're tying the RS-2. This is an emerger pattern that was originally tied by Rim Chung for the South Platte here in Colorado. But I actually really enjoy this as an emerger on freestones as well. So I fish it pretty heavily on the Arkansas anytime we've got mayflies, BWOs, betas coming off the water. So I'm tying this today on a size 20 dry fly hook. And I'm going to be using black thread and 70 denier. Once I've wrapped a thin body down to the bend of the hook, I'm going to go ahead and tie in the tail. For the tail, I like to use about 5 or 6 fibers from a Grizzly Hackle. So this is like extra dry fly hackle you might have been laying around. I'm just going to preen off a few of those fibers and then tie those right in on the back of the hook. So I'll make a couple of securing wraps, just make sure it's laying really straight on top of the hook and not off to the side. And then I'm going to take one wrap underneath of the fibers, and this will help prevent them from getting fouled around the hook when you're swinging this fly through the water. I like them to be about the length of the hook as well, maybe just a tad longer. I like longer tails as opposed to shorter tails. Next, I'm going to go ahead and spin on some black dubbing. And I want to create a really thin noodle. Again, this is a really small fly and it's easy to overdub it. So create pretty much the thinnest possible noodle you can. And then start making wraps up. And as you progress towards the eye of that hook, you can over wrap a couple spots because we want to build a slight taper in this body with the dubbing. I'll add some more here. And when I've got about two hook eyes of length between the dubbin and the actual eye of the hook, I'm going to stop there, and this is where I'm going to tie in my wing. So the wing on the RS-2 is a really short wing. I like to use CDC feathers, and for this particular fly, I'm going to be using natural CDC, so it's kind of a gray color as opposed to a dyed white CDC feather. And I'll strip off usually about half of a CDC feather, one side of that feather. And then I'm going to tie the butt ends in towards the eye of the hook. And I'll trim this up later, of course. Once those are tied in and secured, I'm going to add some more dubbin, and we'll clean up the head and make a couple wraps behind these CDC feathers. This will help keep them pushed up just slightly. I like them at about a 45-degree angle coming off the back of the fly. And then we can wrap in front of these, add just a little bit more dubbin. And we'll clean up this head a little bit. So now you can see there's a pretty good profile as you move up towards the fly, the front of the fly, so it has a nice taper, and then the thorax is kind of built up just with dubbin. So we'll go ahead and whip finish here and clean up this fly a little bit, trim it up. And I want to cut these fibers about the same width as the thorax on this fly. So you can see they might be a little bit long, but at least the width of the thorax, if not a little bit longer. And you can see they're laying at a pretty nice 45-degree angle. And then I'll clean up some of the errant dubbin fibers here. And that is it to this fly, guys. It is super simple. You can tie these up in about 2 minutes once you get the hang of them. And they're just a great fly to drop behind another Betas pattern. So let's see how this guy fishes.
Alright guys, we've got on a blue wing olive here, and about a foot behind that, little black RS-2. Right, there's one on the RS-2. Decent sized brown. Nothing huge, but healthy fish for the river. Yeah, took that RS-2 right there in the top of his lip. It's textbook right there. Let's see. There we go. And it's out. And he's off. And he took the RS-2 as well. Pretty fish. There it is. Oh, little guy. He took the RS-2. I want that big guy though. Okay, come here, buddy. He took that right there. Just a little 7-incher. Nice. Let's see what this guy took. And he's off. Alright guys, I gotta get out of the sun, so that's it for me, but I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit like and subscribe for more videos.